As you can see, it is 7:15 in the morning, and it's cold as fuck, needless to say. You know, maybe I make it look warm in these videos. Y'all always see me sweating all the time, but no, it's cold today. You know, chances are if you see me in Missoula, Montana, and not anywhere else, it's gonna be cold for a while. You don't need to AIG in any snow content. You can just wait in Montana long enough and it'll start snowing. It's apparently supposed to snow here for Thanksgiving Day. And you never know. It looks pretty mild right now, you know. But that's subject to change at any minute, any second, any hour, any day. You know, people probably wonder, oh, what's the weather like in Montana this time of year? It's cold. A lot of people are like, go south, Chisel, go south. It's like, I have a baby here in Montana. She's less than an hour away from me. Logistically, it just doesn't make sense to go south. Go south and you can get a job at the same pay rate. And you could pay rent down south at the same rate that you pay rent up here in Montana. And you see it just be the same set of problems, but in a warmer condition, you know? I'm working a job 40 plus hours a week, but I'm not even getting paid enough to rent a 1-bedroom apartment. Like, I think one day a lot of people will wake up and they're like, wow, I wasted 40 years of my fucking life. You know, some people you see doing the same thing for 40 years as security, stability. Anymore, for me, it's kind of wild to think about, oh, we're gonna live in the same fucking house and we're gonna live in the same fucking town and our kids are gonna go to the same fucking goddamn elementary school, the same middle school, the same high school, the same university their whole life. And you know, it's one thing if you've got a strong, supportive community, by all means. Oh, all the people I grew up with are there. All my family members are there. This, that, and the other. Go on. A lot of people come to Missoula to shop, but they would never want to live here in Missoula, and I totally get it. Missoula, Montana absolutely sucks, and shame on anyone who's trying to hype it up as a great community. You can't get a job here in Missoula, Montana. If you do get a job, you're not going to be paid a fair wage. You know what the idiots say, though? A job is a job. 20 bucks is 20 bucks. It's kind of wild how we teach our fucking people to be hookers. Now, don't think you're too good to go be standing on that street corner. You let that pimp know he's going to get a lot of good work out of you. You see, you don't feel entitled to being paid a fair wage. Show the company, show your pimp that you're worth a fair wage. You know, sometimes that means doing the things that other people don't want to do. You know, that's how it feels. But since the context is different, people, you know, they don't seem to connect the dots. Showing up to an interview dressed all nicely is no different than a prostitute showing up to the job just real good. Your first impression always matters, and it's better to leave a visual first impression, right? You know, there's probably some girls come home like, my boss sexually harassed me at work. You know, and she's gotta be told, boys will be boys. Just try not to make too much fuss about it. You know, this is your dream job. And the fact that whatever they ask you, how much are you expecting to make, and you tell them what you think is a fair wage, and like, well, you see how we do it here. We start you at this abysmally low wage. You know, and we reward the loyal hoes with more wages. You know, 20 years of loyalty won't get you a fat fucking pension no more. Imagine doing 20 years of work and then you retire with a shit ton of money. Never have to work again because you got a pension. Now it's like, yeah, you invest into this 401k. Oh no, you get this credit card, and if you keep on paying it off, you get a larger limit of credit. Realistically, that's when a lot of shit went sideways. Oh, here's this debt, and it's all digital debt. It's not real. These numbers just exist on a computer. There's nothing to leverage some of these debts other than someone's signature. You know, when you get to that level of hundreds of millions of dollars, they loan you more and more money. The reality is a lot of people aren't as rich as you like to believe they are. You see, their wealth just exists in this imaginary system of credit and debt. And if you don't repay your debts back, they simply just repossess it and, refinance it to somebody else who can. Most people never really pay off their debts, they're just in a perpetual state of more and more debt that they continue to pay off. Yeah, let's refinance this loan and get you a little more. Yeah, let's refinance this loan and get you a little more. Yeah, let's remortgage this home and get you some money. Yeah, how about we trade in your car, get you a little down payment on a better one. Well, you see, because you hadn't paid this car off yet, but we could just refinance your loan. A lot of times I wonder if they're just calling someone up imaginary on the other end of the line and like, oh yeah, so we put 4,000 down and oh yeah, he's got all right credit. Oh, okay, so the lender said we're gonna lend you some money. Congratulations. Good news, the White family, you've been pre-approved for a massive down payment on a home. Just pick out whichever one you want from the catalog. Oh, yeah, sorry, so it looks like you've only been pre-approved to live in the ghetto. Well, what about that nice home in a nice neighborhood that you can afford? Oh, yeah, sorry, that's only reserved for insiders. Matter of fact, and when we say insider, we mean banks. Banks buy homes. People don't buy homes. Everybody has their own idea of what a dream home might look like, but it's sad that, some bank bought that dream home and of course they're gonna construct it a little more, remodel it so it looks like somebody's idea of a dream home, but it's not yours. And of course, if you want to live in this Montana dream home out in the middle of nowhere with a nice little river or forest behind your home, you're gonna be paying millions and millions and millions of dollars. Long gone are the days where you can just go pick out a spot wherever the fuck you please and start laying out your shit and building on that little spot. And that's truly the worst part about America, is living in a city. We're all just so fucking packed in here, and I feel cooped up anymore. So many people you hear, oh, Missoula, Montana, such a lovely community. The people are so amazing and warm and welcoming if you got money. They treat you a little differently when you're broke and your family name doesn't mean fuck. A lot of times being homeless, when people figure that out, it feels like they look at me like I'm a sick puppy, a broken puppy. There, little sick puppy. Just have to heal him back to health. I think it's annoying that a lot of people figure out that I'm homeless and they just automatically assume that I'm a drug addict. People probably think I'm some fucking dope head and they're like, oh, poor Jizzle, he's just too cooked out on the dope. And then I see those people later on some point and they're all cooked out on the dope looking at me with hate in their eyes. They're like, oh, you're sober-ish? I legit just smoke weed and drink coffee. If I do drink, it's once in a blue moon and certainly not around a homeless shelter. Imagine you're trying to drink, have a good time, laugh and relax. And some of these people aren't trying to do any of that. They're trying to drink heavily. They're all fucking amped up. They're trying to fight somebody. Everyone's got friends around them until you're the guy that gets his shit kicked in, like the guy we all saw last night get his shit kicked in. All these people around the guy, not one person trying to stop the fight. Not one person to jump in to help homie out. Just a bunch of people in the heat of moment that didn't know what to do. Oh, they all sure love to act tough after the fiascos are over too. You always see the women around these guys and they're trying to egg it all on, like, come on, fucking do something. Quit being a little bitch. I thought you were a real man. All these drunk guys like, I will, just give me a second. Fuck. The guy who got his ass kicked is like, did you see how I blocked all those punches with my face? And really it just makes me think of how important it is to swing first. Because, the fight I watched last night, one guy already knew what he wanted to do and how he wanted to do it. And the guy who got his ass kicked kind of leaned back, tensed up and froze in fear. Paralyzed by choice. Do I fight or fucking flee? It's pretty hard to flee when you're backed into a corner. Best thing you can do is start swinging. These are fucking drunk homeless people we're talking about here. Sometimes a drunk person seems strong and scary, but if you can't win in a fight against a drunk person, I think you got other problems, to tell you the truth. Delayed movements, telegraphed fucking moves. Fight back, America. Jesus Christ.